Did you know 3 men volunteered for a suicide mission that saved all of Europe? April 26, 1986, Chernobyl had exploded, but the real nightmare was just beginning. Beneath the reactor, radioactive water was rising. If it reached the molten core, a steam explosion would destroy half of Europe. Someone had to dive into that basement, in complete darkness, through water so radioactive it could kill in minutes. 3 engineers stepped forward: Alexei Ananenko, Valery Bespalov, Boris Baranov. They knew it was a death sentence. They dove anyway. Swimming through liquid radiation, they found the valves, opened them, drained the water. They prevented an explosion 10 times worse than the original disaster. Soviet propaganda claimed they survived as heroes. They lied. Declassified documents revealed the truth. All 3 men died from radiation poisoning within weeks. Their bodies had absorbed lethal doses in those few minutes underwater. 3 men, swimming through radioactive hell, to save millions of lives they would never see again. The most heroic suicide mission in human history. Did you know that in the 1920s, hundreds of young women were literally poisoned by their own workplace? They called them the Radium Girls. Every day, they painted watch dials with glowing radium paint. To create fine brush tips, they licked the bristles with their tongues. Their bosses told them it was safe, even healthy. The women glowed when they left work. They thought it was magical. But within years, their bodies began rotting from the inside. Their jawbones crumbled. Their teeth fell out. Some collapsed when their leg bones snapped like twigs. The company's new radium was deadly. They had known for years. Executives wore lead aprons in radium facilities, but they told workers it was harmless. When women started dying, doctors were bribed to lie on death certificates. Workers were threatened into silence. The surviving women finally sued, but their own lawyer was secretly paid by the radium company. Some victims were so radioactive they glowed in their coffins decades later. This became one of America's first major corporate cover-up scandals. The Radium Girls died so future workers might live. Did you know the execution of Russia's royal family was so botched that it took 20 minutes of pure horror? In July 1918, the Romanov family was led into a basement in Yekaterinburg. They thought they were being moved to safety. Instead, soldiers opened fire. But something went wrong immediately. The bullets weren't killing the daughters. They were bouncing off. The girls had sewn diamonds and jewels into their clothing. The gems were acting like armor. So the soldiers switched to bayonets. For 20 agonizing minutes, they hacked at the wounded family while they screamed and begged. When they thought everyone was dead, they began wrapping the bodies. That's when they heard breathing. Alexei, the young heir, was still alive. The local Bolsheviks who witnessed this were so traumatized they burned the entire house down. For decades, the Soviet Union told the world the family had been relocated for their safety. The truth of what happened in that basement remained classified until 1991. Some secrets are too horrific to admit. Did you know that after World War II, America secretly hired over 1,600 Nazi war criminals? They called it Operation Paperclip. While the world celebrated Hitler's defeat, the US government was quietly erasing the records of Nazi scientists, doctors, and engineers. Werner von Braun built Hitler's rockets using slaves from concentration camps. Thousands died building his weapons. America gave him a new identity and made him NASA's top rocket designer. Kurt Blohm tortured prisoners in biological warfare experiments. The US Army hired him anyway. The government created fake backstories. They destroyed evidence. They buried the truth. These war criminals lived peaceful suburban lives. They sent their kids to American schools. They worked on the space program. Meanwhile, their victims' families never got justice. For decades, no one knew these men were living among us. Many died peacefully in America, never facing trial for their crimes. The operation stayed classified for over 30 years. America didn't just win the war. They adopted the enemy,